Good morning. All right, this is a new series of videos, short ones, trying to keep them real short, on the testimonies of my life, known, and I'm sure there were many unknown, but I'm trying to focus and remember those that I attribute and others have attributed to God. So here we go. This is not a biography of my life, so I'll try not to go on too many rabbit trails. Okay, so in 1956, I was born, and at my birth, I found out later that there were twins. My mother had to go back to the hospital a few weeks after I was born, and passed another after birth. And at that time, when I was born, I almost died, according to my mother, because my lungs were full of fluid and they could not get them clear. And testimony number one, the Lord got them clear. As time went on, at 3 years old, she also said that my sister, Jill, had given me a piece of bacon when I was 2 and turned blue and about to die, choked out, and the Lord revived me there as well. The first one I actually remember, I was about 3 years old. We were at church, and we all came out from church, and we were on a corner in Salem, Oregon, in a busy avenue. I don't remember if it was Lancaster or whatever, but I just doing what 3-year-olds do. You just get out and run. Well, a little old lady in her car, and bless her soul, she was, because she was a little old lady, she was driving very slow. But somehow I had got out into not the busy street, but the side street, and there were cars parked almost back to back. So there was just this out on both sides of the road, of course, because of church. So somehow I ended up sitting down in the middle of the road. Well, she came real slow and ran over me. I say slow, but it was enough to peel the skin. I remember the stinging in the back of my head when we were at the hospital when they put stuff on there. But it pinned me over, and that's kind of all I remember. I don't remember that it knocked me out. I remember a lot of screaming and hooping and hollering. And she stopped and whatever, and they got me out from underneath there, whatever. They lifted the car up, but so that was a miracle. God interacted there. I could have been dead right there. The next one, I was about 4 or 5, anyways, and my parents, they had a rough marriage, and it got physical at times. And my dad had taken me in his old Nash, yellow Nash, I remember it well, and was really flying. Well, from the argument or whatever was going on, made a turn, and out the door I went. So I flew out of the car, bumps, bruises, whatnot, but the Lord took care of me there. Well, I survived 2 divorces. My mother and father married twice. They didn't believe in divorce, so they tried to make it again, make it work. We moved to Brooks, Oregon, which is just before we finally moved to Missouri for good in 1962. I don't know. I don't remember the dates for sure, but the bottom line was I had started stealing pretty serious stuff. There was me and another guy. We loved guns. You know how boys are. And so he knew this place where the guy was gone. The family was gone. So we went in there and took, 2 or 3 high-powered rifles, got on my pony and stashed them in a stump in the woods. And we blast these things off every now and then. Well, they got home, called the sheriff, somehow got back to that boy and got back to me. So the sheriff picks me up, drives me around for I'm trying to just tell him every which way and make up lies. And but it was the beginning of many thieveries. in my life, especially once we moved to the Kansas City Independence area. But the bottom line was, I think it was in about fifth grade then. I think that, yeah, we came back for the second uh, marriage try, and that failed. So we went to uh, Missouri in '62, and then came back for a while. Anyways, they got the guns back, but that would be a big felony if you weren't a young child. So we moved to Independence. Everybody, I think it's very telling that everybody in 1962 already. Uh, I had like 8 or 9 buddies on the block. There was only one that had a dad in the house. The rest were divorced. Just for food for thought there. So moving on from the neighborhood. So I progressed and started smoking at 12, and my mother did all she could to try and keep me in church. And then she would offer me French fries or ice cream cones to say prayers in church and to go to church, and just try and guide me in that direction. Well, it got out of hand. I flunked the 8th grade, so I had to go back to the 8th grade. I was 13, and a family called the Buds were involved in my life. Jim Budd and Jan Budd was his wife, had a son named Chris and a daughter named Carrie, who were both younger than me. I think I was 13. Chris was probably about 11 or 12, and Carrie was probably about 8, somewhere in there. Anyways, and so they agreed to take me into their home for a while and kind of lay the law down to me. And so we developed a relationship. He was into guns and hunting and stuff like that. And that lasted not quite a year. And so they were intercessory at the time for God, because I was headed for big trouble. I was lying, smoking, cheating, stealing, skipping school, flunking out. And we'll leave it at there for part 1, because I'm trying to keep them through it.